So yesterday, I did this Reddit post. This woman who is not Mexican married this Mexican man, and she's actually working, but still expected to like get his culture right, cook like his mother and sister, speak Spanish. She's supposed to do all of that, and she's a nurse working part time, and she has two kids. I did the whole video. It's titled, I asked my Mexican husband why he is never pleased with my contributions. He told me that I need to Google how to make a Mexican man happy. That doesn't really help. What am I missing? You're missing that you're not Mexican, you're not his mother, and you're not going to make this man happy. Well, this post brought out the Latinas. They had something to say, and I'm going to share a lot of their comments. This brought them out. Okay, so this woman says, as Latinas, we are expected to be able to cook elaborate meals. Our worth as a woman comes from being able to make sancocho for 10 mouths and still look effable in the end. So I asked her, is this causing Latinas to rebel and push back? I really like to pick your brain. Too many times as a Black woman, we get compared to other groups of women for not wanting to do this stuff. And she responds with, girl, we are over it. This is universal. When men compare you to us, it's just to neg you. But we are also very much not going to be mommy to these men. We are not like our mothers. Like I said, this is coming from the Latina contingent. She says, yeah, I think it's important for Black women to see that we're all fed up. No matter how much these Johns praise us over Black women, we're just as tired of the BS. She says, the women in my country, the ones these men love to praise over Black women, we're the first ones to only dig for gold in a simple life. Chapeadora is what they call us. I don't know Chapeadora, but I guess that's the Mexican equivalent of a gold digger. Luxie says, I was married to a Mexican man. I'm Colombian, and he used to complain a lot about food. I'm a cook. So one day I called his mom and asked her about his favorite food. I did everything she told me to do. As soon as he finished the plate, he told me that he missed his mommy's food. She says, when I married him, his mom taught me how to make homemade tortillas for him. His mom's tortillas were or are the best in the world. Nothing was enough for him. She says, another time when he was complaining about how our home didn't feel like home, that I didn't feel homey, I went to the store and spent $500 in Mexican decorations and things that reminded him of his home. When he got home, he told me that I would never decorate the house as good as his mom did. She says, we used to live in Maryland and we moved back to Texas to his mom's house, and still nothing was good enough for him. As soon as we split, he went back to his mom's house, and in our divorce court, he showed up with his mom holding his arm. Diana says, first generation born Hispanic here, and seeing how the women in my family were treated, I would never marry a Hispanic man from his country. Women over there are to be everything and not complain. And then Brianna says, the more I hear and learn, the more I understand. My ex was Mexican and was never happy and controlling. It made me sick because his parents were terrible and abandoned him, and he wasn't grateful. Anna says, Mexican men compare their partners to their mom or mother figures. They expect their partner to be able to do the things that their mom does, even though most Mexican mothers did it out of obligation. They have this fantasy their mothers took gusto in being a working woman while also taking care of the kids. But most took that route because of the lack of help from their spouses. Cynthia says, Mexican women are unfortunately raised to do everything for their husbands. I don't subscribe to that BS, though. I have a man who helps me always. Nick says, I have heard foreign men speak of how stupid American women are. The women will be breadwinners and still do all of the housework. It's like winning the lottery for them. Bills are paid and a house servant. This is what a man is saying. He is saying that basically women need to sit down a little bit. Megan says, as a Mexican woman, I just have to say that our men are toxic. Everyone else likes to glorify them, but they don't know how they really are. That's why I was like, I'm about to compile these comments and make a video. Loading says, as a Mexican woman, throw the poor excuse of a man in the trash. Marblee says, I hate how men marry interculturally and then complain they don't eat enough of their own food. Like, you're the Mexican one. You cook the Mexican food. Shelly says the machismo in Mexican culture is very prevalent. So Aquarius says, my friend's husband is like this. It's frustrating to hear this nonsense. Unfortunately, they won't change. Latino men are machistas and expect this nonsense. She should divorce him. Tezzy Leslie says, for the Mexican moms reading these comments, please stop raising machistas and stop raising your girls to just cater to men. And dads, start helping around the house. Be the example of a good husband. Toxica says the culture teaches the woman to be slaves and not complain and praise the men as heroes just for having a job. Tell him to F his mama or sister. Oh, okay, Toxica. Poot says there's traditional Mexican women out there, but he decided to marry out of his race and he got her working. Traditional Mexican wives would never work. Divorce. Amiles, sorry if I mispronounced it, says, as a Mexican woman, I don't date Mexican men. They are coddled by their mothers. The moms uphold outdated values that reinforce the patriarchy. If you want me to be a cook, you must pay all them bills. Eleanor's comment made me chuckle. Marries a non-Mexican and then wonders, why aren't you Mexican? Tiggy says he wants a slave, not a wife. But this silly girl recreated with this Dusty, so she's stuck for the next 18 years. She meant she procreated with the Dusty. Salt and Vinegar Crisp says, as a Mexican woman, my perspective is that he is a sexist piece of poop. Mary and the Cat says he should have married a Mexican woman instead. And Mary Bella says he does not have the money for that. Marisi says, as a Mexican woman, so many men in my culture are still drinking their mom's milk. To put it lightly, you will constantly be compared to his mom and it will create resentment. Leave like yesterday. Machismo is very prevalent in our culture even today, has been changing recently though. He has to be willing to unlearn things in order to get to a better place. There were so many comments on this post. This will be the last one I do, but there were lots of them. This woman says, as a Mexican woman, I will never date a Mexican man. They will either cheat on you, abuse you, or grape you. It's happened to every generation above me and all of my friends' moms and their moms. I refuse. And Supernova says the goalposts will constantly move. She'll never make him happy. There will always be something new he wants her to do. Soon she'll be a shell of a human, eager to meet his impossible standards. Leave. Okay, why did I do all of this? I'm doing this because the dust is global. So many women who haven't learned that the dust is global think in their little bubble, it's just the men that are jacked up or spoiled or whatever. No. Anywhere there is a patriarchy that edifies men and puts them above women for any reason, they're going to have these issues. That the patriarchy is the problem. It's just different flavors and accents of the patriarchy that has to change. So go ahead and chime in. Woo, like I said, the Latinas, they had something to say. They got it off their chest, and I'm putting it in the video because we need to have these discussions because it's not, what they have been able to do, at least with Black women, is triangulate these women and like point to them saying, you need to be traditional like them. You need to be submissive like them when these women are changing the narrative as well. They don't want to be born to be just servants and slaves to men either. They are changing things as well. Go ahead, join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.